Hello, good afternoon. It is a beautiful day. It's about 62, 63 degrees, sunny, and I'm going out looking for microfish primarily today, but I'll obviously be looking for snakes and whatever tin sites I can find along the way too. So let's see how we do. All right, so on my way out to some of these creeks, I've been wanting to stop at this flip site here that I didn't know if it had tin on the ground or not, but it does, and it's like a brisk 62 degrees right now and sunny, so I'm gonna give it a shot and see what I find. All right, so I just got done sifting through this tin, and I got this beautiful adult female eastern hognose snake. All right, so underneath that tin was this large adult female eastern hognose snake. This is the biggest one I've ever found. I've never found one that was this size, not even ones I found DOR. And she is actually a very impressive specimen. She's actually doing all the same defense mechanisms that this species does. So you can see that she gapes her mouth open like that. That's one of the first defenses that these guys use. And then they also play dead, which she hasn't played dead, which I'm actually really grateful for. Despite this snake's attitude, these snakes do not bite. They do throw bluff strikes, but they do not bite. They solely eat toads and frogs and salamanders, but mainly toads is their diet. So these snakes are just, there's really no mistake in these. Even people that I have met that don't even like snakes have thought hognose are really cool. They come in a lot of different color variants as well. This is the most common kind you'll see around here. It's this kind of black and grayish color. This one is pretty much just all black. And it looks like it might have some eggs in it too, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time with it because I don't want to stress it out or anything. They also hiss as well. They'll inflate themselves up with air and then they'll just hiss. So this is just a really remarkable find. They are pretty wide-ranging too, so you can find these guys all the way in Florida. You can find them north up into Ontario, Canada, and even as far west as Kansas and Texas. So this is a wide-ranging species. And here in South Carolina, we have two different kinds of hognose here. So we have the southern hognose snake, and we also have the eastern hognose snake. The eastern hognose snake lives in a more variety of different habitats. They just don't need the soft sandy soil as the southern hognose snake does. But the areas for the southern hognose snakes are very specific, and they're very spotty areas. And it's a habitat that's disappearing greatly. So the eastern hognose snake is a lot more adaptable than the southern hognose. In this species, females are larger than males as well. You can just tell it's a female by her short tail, and also when I picked her up too, you can see ridges of eggs there. This species actually breeds pretty early in the year, so I'm kind of surprised to even have found her gravid right now. So we're gonna go ahead and let her go back under the tin where I found her, and hopefully no one else finds her. She stays out of the way, because this is just a beautiful snake. Another interesting fact about these snakes is they're actually rear fanged, and they're not fangs like what you think of for a rattlesnake. Basically just like enlarged teeth that are situated in the back of their mouth there. And that whole purpose of them having that is to pop toads, because when they capture toads inflate themselves up with air and make themselves difficult to digest. But those are literally like tacks that will just pop that. So let's go ahead and let this girl go underneath the tin. There we go. All right, I'm about to walk down to the first creek. If you look, it's right down there. There's a deer down there. All right, the deer ran off, but I have reasons to believe that this creek right here should have the Piedmont darter, which is part of the rough-bellied darter family, the Persina genus. So I'm gonna find a place to dip net and get to work. I found this two-lined salamander. These belong to the Eurecia genus, so this is like your three-lined salamanders, your dwarf salamanders. They have an aquatic larval stage, and then they live on land the rest of their life. All right, y'all, so I finally found a part of the creek that I can actually see across, and I can see across it for a little bit of ways. I'm gonna put the phone down for a little while and see if we can turn up a darter species here, so hoping for the Piedmont darter. Also, if anyone's curious about what net I use this from this brand called Cummings, and it's a steel frame and a solid hardwood handle and everything. Super durable. I mean, this thing really takes the beating that dip netting does to most nets. It'll cost you about $60, but for the price that it is, you won't really have to buy another one because this is such a great quality net. So I highly recommend it. Just want to show everyone right now that I'm just currently walking through this creek still. It's really cold. This water's easily in the 60s. This is really like an ideal kind of picture perfect day to look for these. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm just looking around where some of the rocks are, or where some of the leaves kind of washed up on the edges of the creek here. And I'm just trying to dip net around those to see if I can turn something up. Check out this beautiful Carolina slimy salamander. This belongs to the genus called Plethodon. And although all salamanders are slimy, this one is a little bit special in the fact that it actually makes this very sticky mucus. And it ends up feeling like Elmer's glue or something drying up on you. So most likely a very distasteful animal for predators to eat. Very nice. These guys have quite a range and a lot of different species. I was just flipping some logs along the creek and I found this eastern worm snake. This is actually the first one I've ever found. For those that have lived in the eastern US and specifically the Northeast, I understand it's very common, but you realize where I'm coming from as a Florida guy by trade and then living in the desert for several years. I'm finally out and about in the Carolinas to be able to find these. They get their name, worm snake, one, because they just simply look like a worm, and that's all they eat is worms. Non-venomous, harmless species. So I'm actually kind of surprised that my darter sampling was not that good today, but it ended up being a pretty good day for snakes. I guess that's just kind of how the spring works. We just had really cold temperatures here as of yesterday. It was like a high of 50 degrees and windy, and today just happened to get up to almost 70 here, and then tomorrow and throughout this week it's supposed to be in the 80s. So before you even know it, it'll be road cruising time. But I'm really grateful for the stuff that we found today. Hopefully I find something else on the way back. If not, this is probably the end of the video for today. So thanks for watching.